Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer Barksdale and I am going to give you a book review today. I chose a book that jumped out at me because it didn't line up with everything else that was on the page and choices, so I chose something really different, and the one I chose was titled The End of the Suburbs by Lee Gallagher. And something about this book really resonated with me. I don't know if it's the fact that I am a recent home buyer, home seller, home renter, and I was just thinking, how could I incorporate this into an elementary school lesson? To me, this jumped out at me for potential 5th and 6th graders, on their way to middle school, high school, and getting really excited about their lives. And maybe they're even thinking now, what do I want to be when I grow up? And start having some goals and things in mind. And one thing that always sticks out to me is when I see my students talk in 5th and 6th grade, those students of that age group, something they talk about all the time is who their idols are, who are some of their favorite stars, celebrities, and what those celebrities are doing, what those celebrities have. One of them being, I want a big fancy mansion, I want a house on the ocean, or things like that. Well, that's not easily attainable, and it hasn't been easily attainable for a long time. When I first started this book, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to use this? How am I going to put this into a lesson? So my questions that I thought that I would ask my students is, with this book, one of the questions the book raised is, where the American dream? Where is it? What is it? And where is it moving to? Because they knew it was moving. This book spans over like a period of 70 years, and it talks about the Great Depression and how people had the American dream, and the American dream to them was owning their own home. And that is important to a lot of people, unless you like to travel, and that's okay too. But when I think about the end of the suburbs, because most stories you hear have been the American dream is getting a house in the suburbs, having a 2.5 children in a minivan, maybe some dogs and cats, a rabbit, those are things that people think about when they think about the perfect family life. Well, life isn't perfect, and it isn't perfect for a lot of people. And we want to teach our students to reach their goals and never give up. That's the main thing, is they can accomplish anything they want to in life, but they have to want it, and they have to not give up. Does that mean that they'll achieve the success that they have in their mindset? Maybe not everybody will be $1 million income family, but they can find their happiness, and that's the goal of this lesson. And when I was thinking about this, I've worked with a broad variety of students from a different variety of backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. In this book, it talks about living in the Great Depression and trying to own your own home, and how difficult that is for people was for people. They wanted to work really hard and achieve that dream, and it was just too difficult. And the market today is not any easier, honestly. Even with a perfect credit score, a large down payment, cash offers, the supply and demand is just in such unbelievable marketing right now. It's just so hard to find a property, and this is me speaking from personal experience. So it's easy for me to stand and tell my students, hey, you can do this, but you do have to work hard. And even if you work hard, you still may not can get it. So it may not be the end of the suburbs, but it's definitely an end of an era when I think about how the American dream of home ownership was always the goal, and now it's just like you just want a roof over your head. The market is so competitive. But my goal with this lesson is to ask my students, what is the American dream to you? Would that be just home ownership, or what does it really, really mean to you when you think about this? When it comes to buying a home in perspective, what exactly do you think about? Do you want to have that mansion? Do you want to have just a regular home? Would you be happy living on the road? I have to understand that a lot of students may not even have a home. we do have homeless students, and this can be a sensitive subject too, but I want them also to be aware that even though our circumstances may be very challenging, if we still work hard, we can get to some of our goals in life. We may not get them all, but we can achieve success. And my goal as an educator is to help my students. If they remember nothing else, I want them to remember that Miss Barksdale taught them not to give up. That no matter what happens in my life, no matter what I face, what I do, I'm not going to give up. And I'm going to be okay. It's okay to not be okay, but at the same time, I can do hard things. And so home ownership is a very hard thing, and you want to learn responsibilities. We may not discuss interest rates or things like that at 5th and 6th grade levels, but at the same time, they have to work hard and, pay your bills, keep your word, things like that matter. Things like that do matter. And it doesn't matter what kind of life you have. It doesn't matter if you may not have the greatest circumstances in your life, but you can have, your education can give you the power to change your circumstances. So those are my goals with my lessons. And like I said, this book was different. I wanted to choose something different, not necessarily pinpointing things in history, but the end of the suburbs, it's a reality. And so it was hard for me to get into the book at first, but once I got going, it was much better. And then I started thinking, okay, I can talk about this with my students and I can put this into play. And so I was just really, really thankful that I got to read this book. I read the entire book, cover to cover, every word on every page. I showed the picture. I don't have the actual book. I downloaded it on my Kindle app, and that's how I read the book. And if you ever get the chance, maybe you should read the book too. It does offer some great information, and if you have real estate friends, I think they would enjoy it as well. Thank you.